It's February and there are some amazing new products launched this month and some cool science. We're looking at burns, long-term studies, and a heap of articles. So let's get into all things red light therapy news. First up, new products. Neuronic, they've just announced or released a new light version of their popular headset. Now they're currently taking pre-orders. It's still a month or two away from shipping. But the good thing is it's half the price, and I think it's a lot more appealing than the first gen product. So it's now a portable design. It comes with a battery pack. You don't need the big bulky controller plugged into the wall, and you now control everything through an app, a phone. It looks like it's a little bit sleeker and lighter as well, which is going to be a big plus. And yeah, it's half the price. So I'll try to get my hands on one later on this year and do a review. As always, links to all the products and articles I mentioned are down below. Chances are I'm affiliated with the company that I'm referring to. So if you place an order through the link, you're going to save, but I get a commission. Hooga have upgraded their HG series. This is their lower cost budget series. It looks like it's still using 660 and 850 nanometers, but it is a whole new design, new control system as well. And looking at the website, it looks like the power has gone up a little bit. Block Blue Light have just released a face mask. So it's interesting, a lot of the companies that specialized in red light therapy panels are now getting into the mask space as well. Remember, I will be doing a big comparison with as many of these masks as possible, probably mid this year. So be sure to subscribe to hang around for that. Now, a few months ago, Platinum LED came out with their new Generation 9 Biomax panels. My first impressions and review of the 450 is already out, so check that out. But there is some new announcements related to their panels. Firstly, they've now got a warehouse in Germany. So that means they do free shipping to USA, Canada, the EU, and the UK. Now, you have to pay taxes in the UK and Canada, but the other place is free shipping and free taxes. So that is a big plus. They've also been awarded a lot of electrical engineering certificates, medical safety certificates. So effectively, it makes them a medical grade product. Only Juve and Platinum have these certificates, I believe, at the time of filming. Now, Chroma, the company behind the Iron Forge, they sent out a big email a week or two ago explaining their roadmap for 2025. It's quite comprehensive, but I do just want to highlight a few of the interesting points here. So they're looking at releasing an Ironforge Pro device, doubling the power of the original Ironforge, which is just insane. They're looking at an ion laser, though that's not the confirmed price. I'm assuming this is going to be using a laser, and it looks like it's going to be rather high end. A sky lamp for indoor lighting, 2.0 version of their nightshades, the Chroma Beauty Forge. This is a mini Iron Forge, and it's meant to blow away every face mask on the market. So very interesting. Hopefully that's out in time for my comparison video. They're hoping to drop the prices on existing products. They've got a Chroma Trinity, which is an Iron Forge plus D-Light plus Lux Vital 3-in-1. I mean, we're looking at devices now that are including more and more wavelengths, which is pretty cool. They've got a heap of other things in here. I mean, they're even looking at getting into some oils and snacks and stuff, which is interesting. I'm assuming they're just hit projects of the company, but those lights do sound pretty cool, especially doubling the power of the Iron Forge. I mean, that is massive. So be sure to check out my review of the original Iron Forge, and I will be teeing up a call with Michael Chiperio from Chroma in the very near future. So can't wait to chat to him about all of these new products. Roho reached out to me and said, hey, we've got a few updates. Can you share this with the world as well? And they are significant updates. Firstly, the refined panels now have a larger touchscreen, which is a big plus because it was on the smaller side, especially given that it had a lot of advanced controls you could do. So that will be welcomed by many. They've also made their touchscreen interface a lot nicer. Again, it was a bit of a downside, and so this is a welcome change. Also, the 1800 and the 3600 now come shipped with a floor boot stand, and they've made a few little cosmetic changes. So overall, it's a significant update. I think the internals are still the same. I may try and get my hands on one to do a little overview. I guess it will be a refine 1.5. It's not a full generation update, but significant enough to mention it in this video. Now, SolarWave have come out with an eye recovery mask. However, the biggest product update of all, and there's been a few already, is Rouge. They are now shipping their G4 Generation 4 panels, and that quite something. Let me run through some of these changes. So they've got pulsing, they've got a touchscreen control system, they've got an application, they've got independent wavelength power control, so you can go through and change the output of every single wavelength. They're using dual chip LEDs. They have preset modes built in. So you have preset modes for skin health, muscle recovery, fat loss, and a few others. And check this out. They are including 8 wavelengths. 8. This is a new record for red light therapy panels. Biomax previously had the record with 7. Now the Rouge have 8. So what are these 8 wavelengths? Look, I've got to check the notes here. You have 630, 650, 660, 670, 810, 830, 850, and 1060. So 4 in the red, 4 in the near infrared. Now 650, 660, and 670, all very similar. If you had a 660 LED with quite a wide band, you're still getting exposure to all of those wavelengths anyway. So it will be interesting to test this to see how it looks. The real big change is the 1060 nanometer near infrared light. This is quite a popular wavelength, especially when it comes to brain health. There's a good article on the benefits of 1060 over at lighttherapyinsiders.com. Put a link to that down below. Now, one thing on their website though, I cannot find the breakdown of these wavelengths. Have they done a platinum LED and just included say 3 or 4% of their LEDs in the 1060, or have they evenly split it? So I'll reach out to them, I'll get some information, and I'll even try to do a review, because yeah, this is very interesting, especially because I believe it was Rouge last year made a pretty strong statement on why they thought 660 and 850 was all you needed. So to go from 2 wavelengths to 8 in one generation is quite a big jump, and it just shows what people are wanting. Also the importance of marketing. You know, if you don't stand out, you'll get left behind. And the thing is, if you don't want all these other wavelengths, there's still a lot of companies out there just doing the tried and tested 660 and 850. So it's good to have options. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, you found value in it, can you hit the like button? And yeah, if you do want to see more videos like this and get some more updates, and even see my reviews on some of these products when they are shipping, be sure to hit the subscribe button. I do appreciate it. Also, check out some of my older videos. I'll share some really good ones at the end of this video, so hang around for that. All right, now for new articles. There's a lot of them, so I'm just going to touch on them briefly. If something interests you, scroll down, find the link, go check it out in your own time. Platinum LED have an article on red light therapy on lung disease and heart disease. Block Blue Light have an article breaking down the costs of a home red light therapy device versus going to a clinic. You can probably guess what the outcome of that is, but yeah, it does make more sense to get a home unit rather than spending heaps of money to go to a clinic. Lightpath LED have put out some really good articles. One is on seasonal affective disorder, and another is on breath work and red light therapy. Now, attached to these articles is a really good video from Scott Kennedy, the founder. So in a world where we're seeing a lot of AI generated content hitting the web, it's refreshing to see articles that you can tell have been written from the owner or from a human, and obviously this is evident when the article matches up to a video. I don't think we're at the point yet where you can clone and AI yourself and make videos, though we are getting very close. So it's an interesting time. Roho have an article on MS and red light therapy. Lumaflex have an article on the benefits of a waterproof red light therapy device. Of course, they sell such a device. And Luminos Red have a new website. They've also got an article on the biological impact of light, which is interesting, and how different ratios of 660 and 850 nanometer light can be used for different goals. Of course, we have our own website. It's lighttherapyinsiders.com. Check it out if you haven't. There is some amazing content over there, and be sure to jump on the email list. There is so much more content and information and deep dives over there than there is on this channel. It's just Bart does an amazing job of researching topics and putting together these really deep dive articles, and we just don't have enough time and resources and willpower, I guess, to convert all of them into videos. So again, lighttherapyinsiders.com, and get on the newsletter, because there's even more exclusive content that goes out on that newsletter. Anyway, there's been 3 big articles to hit the blog in the last month. One is on red light therapy and cold sores. The other is on red light therapy and pancreatitis. And the other is on red light therapy and restless leg syndrome. All right, this month's study looks at red light therapy on burns. Simple. Okay, and it was a simple study. The researchers used 660 red and 840 nanometer near infrared light, and they took burn victims suffering from second-degree burns and treated about 20% of the burn with the red and the infrared light. The rest of the area used regular treatment protocols. Now, the red light treatment intensity was about 5 to 15 milliwatts over centimeter squared, providing about 2.5 to 7.5 joules over centimeter squared. This puts it in line with a typical skin beauty therapeutic red light therapy dose. So something you'd see in masks, for instance. Remember, only 20% of the burn was treated with red light. The rest, 80%, was left untreated. Well, just using traditional, conventional medicine. Now, each patient had about 3 to 5 red light therapy treatments, and overall, the results were quite outstanding. The control area took about 16 days to heal, and the red light therapy treated area took on average 7.5 days. It's like half the time. It's crazy. So with second degree burning, you're burning the top layer of the skin and the lower level, but you're not burning tissue like the muscle underneath. Very painful, they blister, and they do leave a lot of redness and potential scarring. So it is quite a painful and long healing process. There's also the risk of infection. Now, the researchers do want to take this study further, so it will be interesting to follow. Of course, you do have to wonder, we know red light therapy does have full body systemic benefits. So it'd be good to see a true control study where, let's say, a dozen people were burnt in a similar way. Half of them got red light therapy, half of them didn't. And maybe within the group that had red light therapy, only half of the body was treated, another half wasn't, just to control more variables. But still, just that research alone and everything else we know about red light therapy, if you get a burn, why not treat yourself, right? Now, a few things I do need to say. This is not medical advice. I'm not a doctor. If you get burnt, second degree burn, and it's a big area, you should probably go see a doctor. And you also need to be careful about when you treat yourself. Now, here's a personal story of mine. A few weeks ago, I actually spilled boiling water on my t-shirt, on my stomach. I hurt like crazy. I did 20 odd minutes of lukewarm, coldish water to slow down the burning. Within that time period, there were already blisters appearing. It was obviously very painful. Now, I knew the benefits of red light therapy for wound healing, so I wanted to use the red light therapy, but I also didn't want to use it that night because it was still warm, and I didn't want to add any extra heat to it. And this happened like an hour or two before bed. I was washing up at the end of the night. So I protected this for sleep overnight. First thing in the morning, I started red light therapy. I was using a handheld Mito Mobile device I've been using for years. I love it. And I was only doing about 2 or 3 minutes. So I never worked out the dosages or anything like that. And I was trying to do a little bit of near infrared, but then a lot more red light. And I was doing that twice a day. I think within 24 hours, there was no pain anymore. There was obviously blistering and redness, but the redness shrunk down to just a really cool patch. Originally, it was about that big, and it shrunk down to about that big. And it lasted at that size for a few days. That must have been where the real trauma was. And I showed my wife like 4 or 5 days later, and she was quite surprised. Yeah, within 4 or 5 days, it was fine. And even now, there's no scarring or anything. I was really worried there was going to be a scar. So yeah, hey, red light therapy for the win, right? All right, so this month's question is around long-term studies and red light therapy. The individual asking this question states that, they can only find short-term, multiple weeks or maybe 2 or 3 month long studies. So what's my take on long-term use? It's a good question, and something that I've asked some of the experts myself. Now, at the recent PBM 2024 event, Professor Michael Hamblin did say that he expects to see ongoing benefit the longer you're using a red light therapy treatment. He referred to some studies showing that the benefits just seem to continue the longer the study went on. I also asked James Carroll this question, and though he didn't have any hard science to refer to, he used himself as an example, how he's been treating himself for many, many years, decades even, and he said he personally hasn't noticed any downsides. In fact, gosh, for someone his age, he looks absolutely amazing, and his cognitive function is very advanced, and he's very fit and travels and in good health. So, let's just say N equals 1, but still, it is reassuring. But the main reason why we haven't seen long-term studies is the cost and the data and the fact you need a lot of time to do them. There could be some going now, but if you want to see a 10-year study and it only started 5 years ago, you're going to be waiting another 5, 6, 7 years for then the data to be crunched and the paper to be released. So yes, red light therapy photobiomodulation has been around for a long time, but remember, typically we were only using lasers and small devices for very small treatments. It's only been in recent years we've seen the panels, the beds, and full body treatment. So it's still in its early days. But just keep in mind that some of the top researchers in this field and company owners are using and have been using red light therapy full body treatments for a very long time and continue to do so. I don't know if that's actually a positive or a negative, but maybe just go to one of these red light therapy events and speak to some of the old timers there who have been doing it for a long time, and then you make a call to determine whether you think they're in a good state of health and wellness. All right, so what's upcoming on this channel? Well, my block blue light Ultimate XXL review has been filmed. It's all ready to go. However, I pushed it back a little bit because block blue light ran out of stock. So they asked me if I could just delay it a little bit because they know there'll be a lot of demand coming through. It will be out very soon. I've told Daniel, I said, I want to get it out there. People are asking for it. So yeah, subscribe. It will be out very soon, like weeks, days even. So hang around for that. I also have my Mito Red Light and Mito Mind review coming out, and some more interviews with red light therapy experts, and the Red Light Rising Generation 2 Advantage review will be out soon as well. Okay, and then as for content you may have missed, remember I post 2 videos a week. I reviewed the Hooga 360 Ultra, the Mito Red Light Mito Pro 300X. Of course, I did a video looking at the new Biomax 9th generation and reviewed the Biomax 450. But best of all is this video. If you've missed this, you want to check it out now. It is a really fascinating video looking at the amount of red light therapy that is emitted from the sun. Check it out up here. It's worth the watch.